So the first thing I'm going to show you is how to create a see-through transparent layer graphic. So as you can see, this is the Home Depot logo, and we have white and orange, and down here in our layers window, you're going to see all your layers. Now layers are very similar to Premiere when you have video 1, video 2, video 3. It depends on what's ever on top is what is seen. So what we're going to do is down at the bottom of the layers window is you're going to hit this little square with a plus, and I always like to drag the empty layer below the logo just because I'm used to Premiere, but really you don't have to. You can put it up here. Click on the layer with that you want to manipulate, and then inside here we are going to click over here in the toolbar. It should be W, but if you haven't opened up Premiere or Photoshop before, it might be this icon right here, which is Object Select Tool. I like to go down to Magic Wand Select Tool. So this is going to bring up this tool right here, and anywhere I click, it's going to click all of the same color. Okay, so right now it's chosen all of the orange, and it's only choosing all the orange because there's breaks in all these letters. Now if this was connected here, it wouldn't select the orange in between. So what we want to do is we're going to take out the white in this image. Now if you notice, when I click on the white here with the wand, it only selected this white right here. How to get all the white here is I'm going to right click inside that selection and go down to similar, and it's going to find all the white in the image. Now on my keyboard, on my Mac, I'm going to hit Command X, or on a PC you hit Control X, and I'm going to take out all of that. You're cutting out all of that. Now this only works if you have multiple layers here. If you only have one layer, it's going to cut all that out and then replace it with the color underneath over here. So right now we have a transparent logo. So if I go down to that other layer and I choose another color and I fill in the background with a paint bucket, you'll notice that there's no white left on this, and then we can make that invisible, turn it back on, but you need to have another layer to make sure that this will stay transparent. Now this is creating what's called an alpha layer or a transparent image. We are going to save this, but you're going to save it as. You don't want to save the actual file, you're going to save it as something different. So we opened up Home Depot logo /2, and I'm going to add to the end transparent background. So I know this file has a transparent background, and I'm going to add orange in there. So I know exactly what that file is. Hit save. There you go. Now what that did was that saved it as a PSD. That'll be the very first thing you're allowed to save as. But if you go over here and hit Save as Copy, it's going to open up almost the exact same exporting window. But when you go down to Format, you're going to have a ton more options. Now, if you want to stay within the transparent background, go to PNG. Now, PNG can be opened by almost anything, but a PSD, which was what we saved in the beginning, that's a Photoshop file. That's what we just saved it as. That can be opened up in Premiere, no problem. But if you want to open this up in like an image viewer or on your phone or something like that, you want to save it as a PNG. Now PNG will flatten everything, but it'll keep the transparent background. And that's how to cut it up. Now, let's discuss how we can cut up layers. Now there's a few different ways that we can do this. For instance, if you want, like, let's fill in, let's do this. I'm gonna choose everything white, and I'm just gonna do the background. And what I'm gonna do is I'm going to shift click both of these, right click, and I'm gonna merge these down to one layer. Now if you notice, the white is now a part of the image. So what we're gonna do for this instance, I'm gonna create a new layer, and I'm going to Magic Wand the orange, hit similar, and export all. Oh, let's do, hold on. Before I do that, I want to take out the edges here because I don't want that coming back to bite me in the butt. So I am using the marquee tool, which is M on your keyboard, and I'm creating a box around anything that I want to cut out, and then I hit Command X or Control X, and I'm deleting that from the image. Okay, now I go back to, I make sure I am on that layer. I hit Wand or W, I click on the orange, I right click, I hit Select to Similar, and then I delete it, which with Command X or Control X. Now I just have the white text of the Home Depot. And just so you can see this, I am going to put a black background just so you can see what I'm doing. Now what I'm going to do, let's say in your video you want the to come in, then Home, then Depot. In order to do this, you need 3 different layers to make this work. So the comes in, then the Home, then the Depot. So we are going to go over to your layers, right click on the layer. You're going to duplicate the layer. It'll ask you, what do you want to name it? Sure, whatever, because we're going to change these around here in a second. Right click on that one and duplicate the layer again. Yes. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to name these so I know which one I'm working with. So the first one, I'm going to double click on the title, and I'm going to call that one The second one, I'm going to call it Home, and then I'm going to call it Depot. You can also right click on these and go to rename, wherever that is. But you can just double click on the title and you can start typing. So in the, we're only going to keep the. So on my tools over here, I'm going to hit L, which is your lasso, and then I'm going to switch to polygon just because it's a little bit easier. So with polygon, I can create a lasso by clicking points, so I don't have to be super precise. I just keep clicking to get rid of everything, and once you go back to the beginning, it's going to highlight everything you just lassoed, and I'm going to hit Command X to delete it. Now, it didn't go away because we have all the layers on. We can turn these eyes off, and as you can see, we just have the remaining. So the next one, we're going to turn the off, and we're going to go to Home, turn on the Home, make sure you're clicked on the Home, go back to L, which is your lasso, switch to polygon, and we're going to take out get rid of that, and we're going to take out Depot and get rid of that. Okay, that one's good. Now we're going to go to Depot, and we're going to take out everything but Depot. Delete. Oh, did I just... There. Wait a minute. Yeah, that's right. Okay. So now, if I click on only the will be shown. If I click on Home, only Home will be shown. And if I click on Depot, only Depot will be shown. So we're going to unclick the black background because we don't want that a part of our image. We just want the. We save as, and I do it on the Mac by Command Shift S or Control Shift S on a PC. And then we're going to do this. We're going to change this title, and I'm going to call this Logo Moving okay? And just however you want to save this, make sure you remember what the title is. And then what we're going to do is we're going to name it one thing, and then at the end, exactly what is in the image. So if it's the Home Depot, we're going to call it Logo Moving Logo Moving Home, Logo Moving Depot. Because once you start looking for it on your drive, all 3 of these are going to be right next to each other, so you don't have to put in the beginning, Logo Moving, Home, Logo Moving, because then you're going to find them all over the place. If you put it just like this and then just change the ending, all 3 of those files are going to be exactly next to each other. So again, down here to your format, you can choose Photoshop. Photoshop's fine. Or you can choose PNG, and I'm going to choose PNG for this one. So I'm going to save. I'm going to do the largest setting possible. Take out now we go to Home. Now we save as again, and we got to make sure I'm calling this right. We called this Logo moving home, save a copy, go down to PNG, save, largest file type, and then go to depot, again, save as. We're going to call this, logo, moving, depot. Go to save a copy, and then PNG, save. Now, before I exit, I'm just going to click everything back on and save this as a backup. So logo, moving, full logo. And then we are going to save this as a Photoshop, so if we need to come back and make any more changes, it'll be here and we can use it. So what we do next is we open up Premiere, and now we're going to import, go into Project 4. I just want to import the files that I want. So as you can see right here, depot, full logo, home, they're all right here. Now we don't want to bring in the full logo, we just want to bring in the home depot. We import those. We do a quick new timeline, make sure the settings are correct. And then we can put I'm going to put that on top. I'm going to put home underneath, then I'm going to put depot right underneath that. So this is what the logo looks like when you put all of them together, and you can only have certain things at certain times. Now it's your job to figure out how to move them so it actually looks cool. And I'm just gonna mess around really quick to see how this would look. So I'm gonna put it at about half a second right here, make a mark. Half a second, make a mark. Half a second, make a mark. So on that. And if you have the magnet here, the snap to engaged, as you're scrolling, it'll snap to those marks. It'll be a lot easier. So we are going to go up here, set the keyframes. We're going to move back a little bit, and we're going to grab the motion and then slide it down like that. Okay. And I don't want it to slam in. I want it to go nice and smooth in. So we're going to ease in. And on the second layer, the home layer, we go to the next marker, set the keyframes. I'm going to go back to when home snaps into place, set keyframes there. And we are going to move this one over here. And again, I want this one to come in easy. And then this next one, we're going to set the keyframes where we have it, go back to where the Home Depot comes into place. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this really big. Really big. And I want it to come through the O. Really big. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. I want this to be huge where we don't even see the sides of the O. A little bit more. A little bit more. Almost there. It's like I'm stretching it out. Okay. And I'll go a little bit more. Okay, I can only go to 10,000. So what that means is I don't want to see these white in this corner this whole time, so I'm going to cut the bottom right here so you won't see it beforehand, but you will see it when it comes in, and here's what it looks like. Now, that comes in and just kind of slams in, which isn't bad, but I want to make that jiggle a little bit. So I'm going to cut all this out real quick. Right here, go in here. I'm going to hit 2 frames over. And I am going to, actually, we're going to set the base to, because I want to go a little past it. So I want to go like 95. And then 2 frames over, I want to set that to like 115. And then 2 frames over, we set that to 100. So this is what that looks like. It's going to add like a little bounce to the end to make it look like it hit the ground and then like bounced and got into place. And it's a little sloppy, so we can tighten that up. So I'll go back into the keyframes here, and what we're going to do is we're going to put those at 1 frame each. Actually, 1 frame to hit and then 2 frames to settle. That's a little bit better. Okay, and we're going to ease into the first one so it moves a little bit smoother. Nice, there you go. I hope this helps, and you can do a massive amount of stuff with this layering. So Photoshop it up, cut it up, and make some magic.